From the shortest track on the circuit to the biggest, actually one of the biggest, it is a 1.5-mile racetrack of the Texas Motor Speedway. Hello everybody, welcome to 3Y TV's coverage of the Sam Maxwell Customs Truck Series here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Beside me is Mr. Peter Short, and up there in the production truck back there is Mr. Carlos Acosta. Peter, welcome to Texas. Hopefully you get on your horse here today, because this is going to be a wild, slick, and bumpy fun of a race. Tell me a little bit about Texas Motor Speedway.
Well, yeah, Tanner, Texas Motor Speedway is my home track. I'm very excited to be here. You know, being from Texas is always special when we have the trucks come to this track, because it's so fast. One of the fastest tracks we go to. They're going to be entering turn 1 at about 180 plus miles an hour here tonight, and I'm really looking forward to it. Like you said, there's a lot of bumps in the middle of the corner that these drivers are going to have to navigate. We're going to see them fan out, especially in turns number 1 and 2. There's multiple different grooves that work through 1 and 2. You kind of want to get a late apex, typically, especially on the longer runs, because tire wear is fairly important at this track, and you tend to get very, very tight on the exit of number 2, turn 2 typically being a calamity corner here at Texas. But I say that turn 2 is fairly tight. Turn 4 is just the opposite. Turn 4, the truck typically gets loose. So we're going to see the best of both worlds here tonight at this track, and I'm very much looking forward to this one.
Yes, most definitely. I'm looking forward to this one too, because we just seen an amazing Sam Maxwell Customs Truck Series race last week at the Martinsville Speedway. That race was a side-by-side finish to the line. Devin Serra beat Jared Mogart to the line, side-by-side, door-to-door, for a thrilling Martinsville finish. And today, these guys are going to take it to Texas in the 24 degrees of banking. It is over 110 degree track temperature out there, which means it's going to be hot and slick, and these guys are going to be fighting the steering wheel in loose conditions all race long for 100 laps. And on top of that, they have to go through the bumps. There's some nasty bumps in turns 1 and 2, which is probably the bumpiest portion of part of the racetrack. But these guys are really going to be manhandling the trucks here today. They got 100 laps to do it. Devin Serra, he's on that roll. And speaking of the points here of Jared Mogart, he is currently leading the point standings right now by 12 points over league organizer Jim Foose. Now, Jim Foose had finished in the top 10 in every single truck race this season, with the exception of last week at Martinsville. He was basically in the middle of the pack with little to no damage. Damage, if I'm not mistaken, but he still has to finish a solid 12th place finish. He's looking to still kind of rebound after Martinsville. Alan Young sitting 3rd in the points. He gained a good spot, a couple spots, 4 spots to be exact. He's got 104 points, 21 points back of Jared Mogard. Alexander Pelican is currently 4th in the point standings right now with 103 points, and Mitchell Brown rounding out the top 5 with 101 points. Jared Haggerty with 98 points in 6th. Jason Stewart in 7th in points. Evan Black in 8th. Troy Haight is in 9th in points, and rounding out the top 10, Kelsey Rogers. Now, Troy Haight and Evan Black, those guys are pretty fast and pretty decent out there, as well as Jared Haggerty. So we have some guys who have been finishing fairly well this season. One guy I am not seeing in that top 10 whatsoever, but he's fast every single week, is Will Worsler there, Peter.
Yeah, Will Worsler was top of practice charts. And all these drivers currently in their drivers meeting. That's why we have no trucks out on the circuit currently. But Will Worsler ran a 31.056 fairly early in this practice session. Is top of the board. Jared Mogard, I mean, you mentioned him, Tanner. Mogard's been fast pretty much everywhere we've gone to. He was 2nd in practice. Brandon Stokes 3rd. About a 10th of a second off Will Worsler's time. Evan Black 4th. And Corey Silva rounding out the top 5 here in practice. But, you know, with a 150-mile race tonight, the Sam Maxwell Customs 150, I definitely think that it's going to take a little bit of patience for these drivers to just kind of find their rhythm, get up to the front, keep their trucks nice and clean, because Texas is one of those tracks where aerodynamics is very important, and I expect to see a lot of green flag racing, because they definitely had a lot of green flag racing at Martinsville. That was definitely the talk of that race, just how much green flag running they had. It was a spectacular event. If you didn't get to see that one, definitely go check it out here on 3Y TV, but I'm definitely expecting tonight to be a good one.
Peter, I went on Facebook and I seen your comment about the Martinsville race as well on the ASRS drivers page. And I also went on and made the post, and I made a good comment about that race at Martinsville last week. And it was such a fun race to watch. At Green Flag Racing, tough to pass for sure. And then it came down to a side-by-side finish. It was one of those classic Martinsville events, not just in real life racing, but that you could watch, but on a simulator of iRacing. As right now, I'm currently watching Will Worsler as he's about to take his first outing lap here. For qualification. Qualification just started. It's going to be 10 minutes long here, folks. So, that being said, you always want to try to qualify up front here. I think track position is going to be very key. You talked about at the top of the show here today, Peter, is going to be the tires. Tires is very important here at Texas. But if you get a caution within the first 10 laps of this race, I have seen a lot of drivers spin out and wreck, maybe due to the track conditions here. So if you do get that caution on the first 10 laps, do you come down for tires? And if you do you take 2 tires? What kind of gamble do you want to do if that happens?
Well, I've actually seen 2 tires work at Texas Motor Studio. It doesn't work very often, but every once in a while you get 2 tires to work, depending on how far into a run you are. And you see Brandon Stokes here finishing up his first qualifying lap time. I think he's the first truck out there, so I think he'll go top of the board at least temporarily. But definitely tires are important, and they're really important because, like I said a little bit earlier, you get tight typically out of turn number 2. You get loose out of turn number 4. And tires are going to dictate how the truck is going to handle throughout the race. If you abuse the tires early, you either end up being much more tight out of turn number 2 or much more loose coming out of turn number 4. I mean, really, it's a track where you have to balance your tire wear on the front end and the rear tires. And typically, tracks favor one way or another, but Texas is kind of unique in that aspect. And it's going to be important to come down and get 4 fresh tires every once in a while. But it is a fairly tough track to pass, especially if you're pinned down on the inside. So 2 tires can work if you can pinch the driver down. But you see all these drivers going around for qualifying. They're not concerned about pitting at this present moment in time. And John Jenkins currently with a 30.892 sitting atop the leaderboard.
See some pretty quick times out there. Majority of the times in practice I've been seeing have been mainly 31s, Peter. But now I'm seeing about 3 drivers, actually more than that now, about the first top 10 drivers clinching the 30s now. Now they're getting into the high 30s. Right now it's Corey Silva, who had a great, tremendous run last week in the trucks at Martinsville. And he's building that momentum here as he's spinning it out. Somebody's spinning it out right there. That's the number 19 machine. But Corey Silva, coming off of a good momentum of Martinsville Speedway, coulda, shoulda, woulda won that race, dominated that race to be exact. But he might carry the pole right here. I think he's looking forward to this race for sure. Now, if you're asking yourself right now, or you want to ask one of us, hey Tanner or Peter, how come they're not racing at the repaved Texas? Well, that's because iRacing does not have the new configuration, the repaved Texas. This is the older version, so this is the bumpy version. This is actually the preferred version that I like to drive on here at Texas. It's one of my favorite mile-and-a-half racetracks, especially turn 2 over there, where you get so close to the wall, and it really flattens out coming off the banking of 24 degrees. It's going to be a fun moment for them guys over there in that corner of the racetrack, especially turn 4. So far, Corey Silva on top of the board. John Jenkins, he's carrying some momentum with him from Martinsville. Will Worsler, we've seen him fastest in practice. So far, he's carrying that over to qualification. Top 5 on the speed charts. Kelsey Rogers had a good run at Martinsville as well. Tim Knott, we got Knott bumped down to 6. And we just got a new guy on top of the board with a 30.784. Might be a track record. Maybe not in the trucks. But it is Jared Mogard, championship point leader at the moment. He is on top of the board. I'm seeing Devin Sierra in the number 20 machine, currently in 8th place after his win at Martinsville a week ago.
Yeah, and Jared Mogard is not one of those guys who tends to qualify all too well. I mean, he started off the season with a 25th and 23rd, 25th and 32nd place qualifying runs. He did back that up with good qualifying runs at Darlington and Martinsville, but we've seen him come from the back a couple times this year to get the win. But here tonight, he shows some speed on that qualifying lap time to pip Corey Silva currently to the provisional pole. But we still have about 5 minutes left. Most of the trucks have taken their qualifying lap times. So as I scroll through the field, there's 27 trucks that have currently taken time. As you see the number 43 of Steve Puhala come out onto the circuit down the back stretch. At number 43, Maxwell Toyota Camry is going to come around to take time. We'll see what he does on his qualifying lap time. And Tanner, on your qualifying lap here, you're going to typically be right down there on the white line. Kind of surprised he didn't run up a little bit higher through turns number 3 and 4 to get a little bit momentum, because you and I know that the trucks tend to be a little bit more momentum important than the Cup cars, just because they have a little bit less horsepower and a little bit more downforce as he works his way coming out of turn number 2. And turn number 2, like we said, it gets really tight there. Because the track just all of a sudden narrows up on you. It seems like the track is really wide through 1 and 2, and then the backstretch isn't as wide as the corner, and that all of a sudden means you run out of space as Steve Puhala comes to the line for his first qualifying lap time. He's currently going to be 25th out of the 28 trucks to take time so far.
Yeah, most definitely, Peter. Texas is a tricky track to qualify at, especially when you go over in turn 2, where you just said it narrows up. I mean, you're going to the bottom. You're on 24 degrees of bank. Flat foot that corner, but you do have to let the throttle breathe to get the truck just comfortable so you can get back into the gas. But you got to be careful of turn number 2 though, because as you said, it narrows out and it washes you out to the outside wall, and you just cannot hit that outside wall. Otherwise, in qualifying, it doesn't count if you hit any portion of the grass or the wall whatsoever. And you talked about that white line. I love that white line. That's like my best friend here at Texas. You don't want to get too close to that white line as far as like hitting that apron, because it can definitely mess up your qualification time, but you can definitely put a wheel on it for sure. And there's just a lot of grip down there as far as the left side tires are concerned and the right side tires. So I mean, you just want that bottom line and just kind of rim ride that. Turn 3 and 4 is actually a little bit trickier than 1 and 2. 3 and 4, you do gotta breathe it just a little bit and get back into the throttle, and it's going to get worse over time as the tires wear out. So Texas is certainly a fun place to race. It can create multi-groove racing, because I think these guys might be searching for that middle groove as the race goes on, but in qualification mode, search for that bottom.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, once you have fresh tires on your truck, you're going to try and make the most of them, especially at a high-speed track like Texas Motor Speedway. And the best way to make the most of them on your qualifying lap time, or even your first few laps on those fresh tires, once you go back after a restart or a pit stop or so on and so forth, you're going to be hunting for that white line, because there is a pretty decent amount of grip on that white line here at Texas Motor Speedway. Texas is one of those tracks where they do fan out once you get a few laps into the run, but really once you've got fresh tires, you do want to kind of be down there on the bottom line. I'm sure we'll see that tonight. As we have about 1 minute 53 seconds left, I do want to go over the penalty report from last week's races. Only one major penalty this week, and that's Jared Haggerty in that number 6 machine. We'll see that he has yet to take time, but that's because he'll be starting at the rear of the field tonight in that number 6 machine. So Jared Haggerty accruing a penalty last week at Martinsville Speedway, but I definitely expect to see him racing his way through the field. He woulda, coulda, shoulda won that race at Darlington Motor Speedway just a few weeks ago here on 3 Wide TV in the Sam Maxwell Customs Truck Series, but had that win stripped away, so he's definitely looking to get back to victory lane here tonight.
And Jared Haggerty has not had the best start this season whatsoever. Only 1 top 5 and 1 top 10 in 4 starts. Average qualification, average start so far this season has been a 19.2. And his average finish has been the 13th. Only 7 laps led on his stats. So it's not been a good start, but hopefully he can turn things around, even though Jared Haggerty is in the top 10 in points, 6th place in points to be exact. So, I mean, it's good to be up there in points, but you still want to try to rack up some better stats right there, and I'm sure he can turn that around here tonight. One driver that I am particularly going to keep an eye on, he has a best average start than anybody in this series so far this season. That has Evan Black. His average starting position is 5th. He started in the top 10 every single race so far this season, with the exception of tonight. Tonight he will roll off into 14th position. He was fast at Martinsville after sitting on the pole, but he did serve a black flag penalty for speeding on pit road that shuffled him to the back. So hopefully Evan Black can wash that away. and he can try to be up there towards the front when it counts. So we got about 3 seconds, 2, 1, and qualification has now concluded. No drivers up there taking any more qualification time here. How many drivers we got on out there here tonight? We got about, I am counting 36 trucks will take the grid here tonight. So let's go ahead and start it off to the grid. Making sure people are getting in their trucks, ready to go, get their wheels all set up to their desktops. Hopefully nobody's driving on a laptop here tonight or even using a joystick. Haha. All right. So I think it's safe to say, and yes it is, so Jared Mogard is actually going to get the pole for this evening. He's a championship point leader. Congratulations to Jared for getting that. Corey Silva, he was bad fast at Martinsville. Coulda, shoulda, woulda won that race, but unfortunately he did not, but he's going to start second tonight. John Jenkins had a good run at Martinsville as well, and is also top 10 points. He's going to start in third, and Will Worsler, hoping to turn things around this season. He rolls off fourth. Kelsey Rogers in the top 5 right now, and he'll be side by side with Tim Knott in sixth. Tyler Sawville in the 7th spot. Devin Sierra, Martinsville winner last week, going to start in 8th. Jamie Moore in 9th, and rounding out the top 10, Jimmy McDonald.
Alex Giese, the number 77 machine, he's definitely going to be looking for a good finish tonight. He's had some tough luck as of late, but he'll be rolling off in the 11th position. Brandon Stokes in the number 9 Mobile will be starting in 12th. The bright green and yellow Sundrop number 44 of Alexander Pelican rolls off in the 13th position, and alongside him, that number 92 of Evan Black, who breaks his top 10 qualifying streak here tonight. Troy Haight will be rolling off in the 15th position in the number 28 machine, and alongside him on row number 8 is Chris Titus. And then following them in the number 3 truck, Pete Baskins rolling off in 17th. Kevin Sargent, the 09 machine, will be starting in 18th. Jeremy Banning in the number 15 will be starting in the 19th position. And rounding out your top 20, the number 66 of Edward Bray.
Jack Wells is going to start in the blackjack position here tonight in 21st. Sam Maxwell will roll off in the 22nd position. He sponsors the series here and also today's event here at Texas. League organizer Jim Foose is going to roll off in the 23rd position. Pretty deep in the field for Jim. He's currently second in the championship standings. Hopefully he can get that number 42 Maxwell Toyota towards the front. Richard Stallings will be rolling out the 24th position. Steve Bahula will roll off 25th. Jonathan Holstein, 26th. Nick Curling, 27th. Stephen Trombley, roll off 28th. He'll be the last driver to take qualification time. Mitch Brown, 29th. And 30th will be Jason Stewart. Ty Hester, 31st. Jared Harrigan, starting from the rear of the field this evening. He's top 10 points. We did talk about him at the top of the show. He'll roll out 32nd. Jim Walton, 33rd. Richard Fletcher, 34th. And Christopher Lane will roll off 35th. And I'm seeing Jim Walton not in tonight's race. This event. The keys, all right. The notes of the race. It is clear weather here in Texas. 77 degrees. 102 degrees, so it has dropped about 10 degrees since practice. And I am ready to get this thing kicked off here at the Texas Motor Speedway for the Sam Maxwell Customs Texas 150. YTV, if you loved Martinsville last week, you're certainly going to love this one. And I'm going to take a steel page. Daryl Waltrip. And boogity boogity boogity. Yes.
In the air, Speedway Yeehaw, Texas boy, and they're definitely showing us how it's done here in the Lone Star State. Jared Mogard didn't quite get the start he wanted. He's got Corey Silva to his outside of the number 94 machine. They're side by side, about 2 deep. John Jenkins and Will Worsler battling side by side for the 3rd position here throughout the first lap. They're going to dive off into turns number 3 and 4. All these trucks nice and grippy on the fresh tires. Corey Silva trying to get that run around the outside, not quite able to do so yet. It was inside, but give the 94 of Corey Silva showing that he's holding tough on the outside, but hits the bumps through turns number 1 and 2. That's going to upset that number 94 truck just a little bit. That's going to allow Mogard to pull away.
Mogard utilized the bottom lane, utilizing fresh stickers through turns 1 and 2 on that white line. Got that advantage. It's bumpy the higher you go in turns 1 and 2. Coming off turn 2 right now, we do have a new lead change, and it's pole sitter Jared Mogard leading his first lap of the night. First lap was led by Corey Silva, and we got Will Worsler, John Jenkins, Kelsey Rogers, the top 5 at the start-finish line.
Pretty much single file for the first 6 or so trucks. The first side-by-side battle there just coming into screen is Tim Knott and Devin Serra. That's a battle for the 7th position. Serra getting underneath that number 41 machine, so move him up to the 7th position. That's your Martinsville winner in that number 20 truck just 1 week ago, winning that side-by-side battle, but now your top 10 is all single file.
These cats around this here at Texas are just trying to play it safe. It is a 150-mile race, 100 laps. First side-by-side battle I'm seeing is Alexander Pelican, number 44, side-by-side with Alex Giese in the 77 as they came off turn number 2. The 4 of Pelican's going to squeak on by. Here comes number 28 of Troy Haight underneath Giese for a spot. That is all positions 13th, 14th, and there's another position brewing up right now, a little bit up towards the front. There's a Monster Energy truck out there. That is driven by Jamie McKee in the 31 machine. He's going to be side-by-side with, I believe that's number 41 of Tim Knott.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tim Knott started this race in the 6th position. He's dropped back to the 8th position here currently, but trying to hold off the number 31 of McKee for that position, and McKee's going to slide by here through turns number 3 and 4, so move Tim Knott back into the 9th position, so definitely dropping a few spots here in the early going, but like you said, it's still early. There's 150 miles here tonight, and you see some side-by-side battling there in the back. That's Steve Buhala in the number 43, trying to go around Mitch Brown, and Mitch Brown started quite a ways back in this field here tonight, and I know that's definitely not what he was hoping for. He's moved up 2 positions from the start of the race up to 27th now, jumping up a little bit further. There is Tim Knott in the 41, kind of sliding back a few more spots. Just got passed by Evan Black and Brandon Stokes, so move the number 92 up into 9th, Brandon Stokes up to 10th, and Tim Knott slides back to 11th. Now he's going to come under fire fairly soon by Jamie Moore in the number 82, so we'll have to keep an eye on Tim Knott definitely sliding back here in the early going.
Yeah, it just seems like he's trying to utilize that outside row, and it's just too early in the race to use that higher line. Not enough guys running it right now. And, whoa, we got a truck loose back there, and that is, I believe, Alexander Pelican. No, it was number 82, Jamie Moore. It was really loose off of turn number 4. He saved it, but, man, that could have been calamity if anybody got into him. But backed up a couple drivers, a lot of drivers cutting him some slack a little bit, with the exception of Pelican. He went around on the outside, but I tell you what, behind Jamie Moore, Alex Giese, Troy Haight going at it. Then you got Chris Titus and Pete Baskins side by side, all for positions 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. And we got a battle for 3rd going on right now. That's number 60. What was that? 69 machine of John Jenkins. Going around Will Worsler for position. Now Will, fastest in practice, fast in qualifying. So far he's fast in the race, but always remember, qualifying trim and practice trim will always be different than a race trim.
Yeah, and Will Worsler set that fast practice lap time at the beginning of practice. He did get a long run in that number 29 truck, so definitely he was trying to work on that long run pace in practice after setting that really fast lap time, but definitely showing that he does have some pace in the race by running in that 4th position currently. Look at that number 35, Kelsey Rogers there, and Devin Serra there side by side. That's a
definitely side by side down into turn number 3. Devin Sierra in the 20 on the 35 of Kelsey Rogers, door to door through the corner of turn 4. And looks like Sierra got a little bit loose coming off the corner of the racetrack. We're 10 laps completed already. Jared Mogard up front. And I am seeing a lot of these trucks being extremely loose.
Yeah, and they're all getting loose out of turn number 4. Like we said at the start of the show, turn number 4 is where you tend to get loose. I mean, you do tend to get snap loose coming out of turn number 2 because the truck gets really tight, and all of a sudden you have so much wheel to try and keep it off the wall, it breaks loose. But turn number 4 is just a slippery corner. And we've seen that a couple of times here tonight.
Tell you what, pressure is on for the top spot here at Texas. Jared Mogard is really feeling it from Corey Silva. Corey Silva taking a little bit of a different approach as he enters the corner of turn 1, and then he kind of diamonds the corner down to the bottom. He gets a nice run down the back straightaway. He's not up close to the back bumper yet, but back at the start-finish line, he was only 143, so about a tenth off, really. As he's still trying to get, usually he gets his runs off of turn number 4, is what I'm seeing with Corey Silva.
Yeah, we're just going to have to keep an eye on it. I mean, Texas is one of those tracks, like I said earlier, it's an aerodynamic track. I mean, aerodynamic's so important here. We've seen in the Cup Series that clean air is oh so important at a track like that. So Corey Silva might be trying to get that clean air. As you see this side-by-side battle here between Tyler Sauvel and Casey Rogers. Sauvel going to the inside of that number 35 machine. So move the 11 of Sauvel now up into the 6th position. Great run for him here so far tonight as we're just over 13 laps in. Oh, the number 82! We've seen him lose a couple times tonight. Hard in the outside wall. Was able to keep it going straight. But that is definitely going to be a tough break there for Jamie Moore. Oh, he spun it. Caution flag out. And he got all that right side damage. And I think that upset that number 82 truck when he went into turn number 1. Spun him right around. And Tanner, that is a really tough break. It just kind of went from bad to worse.
I don't know what happened there, but he wasn't going very fast for that truck to be really loose. In my opinion, as he enters towards turn number 1, he's riding the high side. He had everything collected. Everybody was getting around him just fine. All of a sudden, it was practically dead right into the outside wall there for Jamie Moore. That really totally killed his truck. After starting in the top 10 this evening, he started 9th. And that truck is badly damaged, and I think aerodynamics is definitely going to be playing a toll here. I'm going to actually hop in his cockpit view here on my screen. And yeah, his seat's sputtering. He does have engine damage, that's for sure, because he has yet to reach 7,000 RPM. He just now actually hit it as he's in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, and you know, here in the ASRS and Maxwell Customs Truck Series, these drivers don't have any fast repairs, so Jamie Moore is definitely going to have a wounded truck. I'm sure he'll come down pit road, much like your leaders are doing so right now. But Jamie Moore is going to have to fix a lot of damage to try and see if he can be competitive here tonight. But we'll watch these leaders hit their pit box, led by Jared Mogard in the number 00 core racing driver right behind him. John Jenkins, great start for him. We'll see how this all pans out after this. Oh, 69. Just as I say that. Yeah. Yep, John Jenkins just missed that pit box, had to reverse. Alex Giese, looks like he missed his pit box. A couple of drivers.
But I tell you what, I'm seeing all drivers take 4 tires on pit road, as Mogard will lead the way off pit road as far as the race leaders up towards the front is concerned. That was 15 laps into a run there, Peter, and everybody took...
Yeah, and I think we started to see why. Trucks were starting to get a little bit loose out there. Definitely the track getting a little bit slippery. So I'm not surprised they came down and got 4 fresh tires, because you don't want to be out there on slippery tires, that's for sure. And when you can come down and get those 4 freshies, I know it'll make these trucks handle good again, the best way to put it. So definitely 4 fresh tires is the way to go currently. We'll see if that plays true as the race continues to go on, but definitely Jared Mogard will inherit the lead here as you see these 2 drivers head down pit road.
Yeah, they overshot. They missed their pit boxes, that's for sure, and they're coming back down to get right now. So Alex Giese, 09 machine on pit road here of Kevin Sargent will lead a lap here. It's all been Jared Mogard and Corey Silva have led laps here tonight.
And that's a tough break for Giese. I mean, he was running in the 13th position when he came down pit road, and we've seen him have some absolutely awful luck as of late. And he needs to get a good run here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway, and he's definitely showing that pace to get that good run. But that's definitely going to set him back. We'll see if Alex can race his way through the field as this race goes on. But we're nearing the 1/5 distance here in the Sam Maxwell Customs 150 at Texas Motor Speedway for the ASRS Sam Maxwell Customs Truck Series. And Jared Mogard continuing to lead from pole.
Most definitely. It's I'm just curious to see here, drivers moving up through the field. I'm actually seeing here one guy particularly I was really watching during that green flag run, that short green flag run that was moving up through the field. He gained 10 spots within the first 12 laps, and it was Jared Haggerty. After starting from the rear of the field, he was 22nd last time I checked, but now under the caution flag, he's now currently 19th after starting 39th here, or 32nd, excuse me, here tonight. So Jared knows he's got a fast truck. He's just trying to get closer and closer to the front. But if you had a bad pit stop, and that was the first pit stop of the night, you better wash it off right now, because we still got quite a ways to go yet here at Texas. It is a 100-lap race. We have the one-to-go signal this time by, and we're only on lap 18, so there's plenty of time to try to get back up towards the front as best as you can. So let's reset the field here for you. Jared Mogard currently leading the race after starting on the pole. He'll be side by side with Corey Silva. Now the question remains: can Silva keep up with Mogard, and can Mogard just have a good restart instead of a dismal restart? We'll find out in a little bit. Will Worsler currently in third. Devin Sierra in fourth spot. John Jenkins will be in fifth. Tyler Sawville, 6th. Evan Black, he's been fast all night so far after starting 14th. He's currently in 7th. Kelsey Rogers in 8th. Brand Stokes 9th. And rounding out the top 10, Jimmy McKee.
And for all of you people following at home, Jamie Moore, he was involved in that accident. Moore has taken that number 82 machine to the garage. Said he had 8 minutes of required repairs. So he's definitely going to be taking it to the garage here tonight. But green flag back in the air. Jared Mogard gets a great restart, jumps way out front of the number 29 of Will Worsler and Corey Silva. They're side by side for the second position. But Will Worsler gets a really good restart, follows that number 00 machine, and move Will Worsler up into second position. Oh, the 47's going around. Caution.
That's the 47 machine of Richard Fletcher. He's got a high ping going on right now, but I don't know if anything had to do with that, which means he had some internet problem. He got turned, I'm seeing, from the 43 machine of Steve Buhala. Man, he actually really punted him there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the number 15 there of Jeremy Banning had nowhere to go but into the side of that number 47 machine, so you'll get to see this on replay here. That number 15 truck has a fair amount of damage, and unfortunately for that number 47 machine, he ended up smoking because of that hard hit with the inside wall. So I don't think Fletcher will be able to continue this race, but we'll have to wait and see if that crew can get that truck repaired enough for him to continue on.
That was a pretty vicious hit to the inside wall, the safer barrier part, towards down there where drivers can get spun out or loose off turn number 2. In this case, it was a spin out, bumped from behind. Pit road is open right now, and I am not seeing any leaders. I don't expect any leaders to come down pit road. They're going to try to keep the track position. They just came down and took some stickers. Nobody else. If anybody's going to come down, it's somebody from the rear of the field. And I am seeing about 2 guys right now. Steve Buhal is one of them. He's going to try to check that and see that front end of the truck to see if there's any damage on it whatsoever. Also on pit road, Jonathan Holstein's there. Jason Stewart's back there. Stephen Trombley is back there. So all the guys are practically at the back of the pack are pitting right now.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad decision. If you're near the back, just come down and get fresh tires and see what they can do for you. I know really we didn't have but one lap of green flag racing there, but if you're near the back, it's really not going to hurt just to get 1 lap fresher tires. And sometimes on some tracks, 1 lap fresher tires can make all the difference. So we'll definitely see how that plays out tonight. As you see Jason Stewart, the number 1, we saw him briefly heading off pit road. But the number 00, Jared Mogard, now leads over Will Worsler, who was able to use that short green flag run to jump up into the second position, relegating Corey Silva down to 3rd, Devin Serra 4th, John Jenkins in 5th. We've seen Jenkins be in the top 5 for this whole race, but we saw him miss his pit box just a little bit under his last green flag, or excuse me, his last pit stop. It wasn't under green flag, it was under the yellow flag. But John Jenkins definitely kind of ruining that mistake, sliding back to 5th. Tyler Sawville, Kelsey Rogers, Evan Black, Brandon Stokes, and Jimmy McKee rounding out your top 10 here as we have completed 21 laps at Texas Motor Speedway.
Still fairly early here tonight in this event at Texas. It is the Sam Maxwell Customs Texas 150. I'm trying to think of a trivia question for you guys here tonight about Texas Motor Speedway. Hang on, production. Say that again, production truck. That's a good question. Yeah, let's use that one. All right, trivia question time, and I will answer that question. Actually, I actually do have that answer there, production truck. Thank you. All right, which driver has the worst? What was the question? Cup. Okay, what was the worst Cup driver that has the worst history here at Texas? That's a good question. Who was really bad here at Texas? I don't know. Gotcha. I had the answer, but I guess I was wrong. All right, so what was the worst? He's a NASCAR Hall of Famer. That's the hint. He never performed very good here at Texas whatsoever, but he's a Hall of Famer. That's your hint. That answer will be revealed at lap 50. Let's round it up for you guys once again for a restart. Jared Mogard, Will Worsler, Corey Silva, Devin Sierra, John Jenkins, the top 5. Tyler Sawville, Kelsey Rogers, Evan Black, Brand Stokes, and Jimmy McKee, rounding out the top 10. And right now I'm seeing a lot of drivers, Peter, who have started in the top 10, remain in the top 10. They kept their noses clean. They raced smart up towards the front. They're not all over each other just yet, but I'm pretty sure when that time comes, they're going to be kind of all over each other. They're kind of hoping for a little bit of a green flag run, too, to really understand how much the truck is going to get loose. I understand that first green flag run that we've seen, the first 10 laps, it was going to get loose, but I'm sure they wanted more information out of it.
Yeah, and two drivers that probably wanted to go green is the one of Jason Stewart and the number 19 of Stephen Dromley. Both of those drivers coming down pit road once again here to top off with fuel. The number 47 of Richard Fletcher is still on pit road getting damage repaired. Like I said, not quite sure if we'll see that truck back out, but the pace car is diving down pit road once more, getting set to go back to green flag. The number 00, Jared Mogart, hard on the loud pedal, and he's going to pull away from the field. The second consecutive restart that number 00 has gapped the field. He's trying to stay ahead of that number 29 of Will Worsler as he comes under fire from the number 94 of Corey Silva to his inside. They're 2x2 from second place, pretty much on back throughout the entire field. Will Worsler still just trying to hold off that number 94 truck, but Corey Silva drifts up just a little bit through the center of the corner, and he's able to stay off the side of Will Worsler, but definitely really close quarters here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Mogard really drifted up coming off of turn number 4 and almost smacking the outside wall as they're side by side behind Mogard. Mogard's actually really liking it, but he's not necessarily pulling away. The only time he really ever pulls away is coming off of turn number 2 right there as they head down turn number 3 right now. I tell you what, Jared Mogard learned his lesson already on these restarts, man. He was side by side when the race started with Silva, and now he's been jumping the gun and trying to pull away ever since, and that's what he wants to do because this is a pack of hungry cars side by side. Look at this. You got behind Will Worsler, you have Devin Sierra in that mix. That's practically all the way back to 9th place.
Yeah, and Kelsey Rogers will fall into that 9th place, but definitely a lot of side-by-side action for the 4th place on back. As we have the number 11, Tyler Sawville, Devin Serra, they're side-by-side, and great run for Tyler Sawville in that number 11 machine.
Most definitely. They're still racing pretty hard side-by-side here. They don't want to just give it up yet, and quite frankly, you can't just give it up because you'll get run over from behind.
Yeah, you can't just roll out of it here at Texas Motor Speedway. That's not what you do. This is the high horsepower rodeo as they work their way around these tracks over those bumps.
Looking through the field here, trying to see who's kind of moving up just a little bit. Kind of keep an eye on another guy that's been lurking, getting closer to the top 10, but he was 13th last time at the line. He just lost a spot to Troy Haight, and that is number 98 of Sam Maxwell. He started 22nd, currently in 14th. But man, oh man, that side-by-side action is still going on a little bit towards the front back there. You got Devin Sierra, the Martinsville winner, on the higher line, still standing strong. He's trying to go side-by-side right here with the number 11 of Tyler Sawville as they head into the corner. Number 69, John Jenkins, been there all night long, and almost a bumper hook there from the number Evan Black, number 98, all over the back bumper of Brand Stokes. He wants to cut to the inside. He gets his nose chopped off. Man, talk about a door slam right there. Slammed right in your face. Holy cow. I don't know if Evan's going to appreciate that later on, but he might keep that one in the back pocket. But Devin Sierra is actually the one kind of falling back just a little bit here after starting 8th. Still in the top 5, still having a good run, but he just cannot get to the inside row just yet.
Well, I think right now, just a few laps into this run, the tires are kind of going through a little bit of a transition point. That grip that they had early in the run has disappeared, and for Devin Sierra, he's not quite able to hold that speed on the high line like he was earlier. And as these tires continue to wear, I'm sure that high line will start to all of a sudden appear. But as we're only just a few laps into this run, I'm sure that inside line has quite an advantage up at the front. Corey Silva has tracked down the number 00 of Jared Mogard, and Corey Silva is hunting for that race lead. He's got a really good run coming out of turn number 4. The 00 just shuts the door on him there just a little bit, but Silva just trying to find a way around Mogard. Like I said, tracked him down and is now showing a lot of speed in that number 94 truck.
Showing a lot of speed there, Corey Silva is, man. He's really pushing the pressure on Mogard, and there he goes, diving to the inside. This might be a good move right here. That's Mogard's line. Side by side, Corey Silva has caught Mogard for the top spot, and Silva will beat Mogard to the start-finish line, but they're still technically bound for the spot. As they head down turn number 1, I think Silva's going to have the preferred line. He will, so give it to Corey Silva, carrying that momentum that he had with him from Martinsville. Mogard's going to come back with a good run off turn number 2, side by side down the back straight into turn number 3. Mogard does not want to give up the top spot. I tell you what, that inside row is actually going to be the biggest advantage right now, unless Silva can really, man, they're close. But man, if he can use a little bit of side draft, man, that would have been a photo finish right there. Silva could probably use a little side draft to try to back him up just a little bit. I've done it many times here on a 1.5-mile racetrack, especially Texas. But he just cannot continue with that momentum. It just seems like you get that momentum off the high side. Man, they're almost to the outside wall, almost a collision right there.
And Corey Silva now with the over-under. We saw it from Mogard just a lap before. Now Corey Silva trying to replicate what Mogard did, but that number 94 truck with a little bit of wiggle through turns number 3 and 4. But Corey Silva not quite able to beat Mogard to the line. That last time was 4 1/1000ths of a second that Mogard led that lap. And now Corey Silva gets that run through turn number 1 and 2. But here comes Mogard. We'll see what Mogard can try and do. Once again, doing the over-under, showing his nose underneath the number 94 truck. These two are going at it here at Texas, definitely showing that there's a lot of side-by-side racing.
I tell you what, Peter, these two cats up towards the front, I don't know if Will Worcell's going to catch him here, but man, I tell you, these two cats up here are doing the two-step with each other. The only problem is they don't want to step on each other's toes.
Yeah, they're just trading the lead back and forth, which is unbelievably impressive to do that at a track like this with such high speeds. And you see Silva just doing the exact same thing once again. And last time by, I mean, the two leaders ran 31.9s. Will Worsler was only about a 1/10.5 faster than these top two. So even though they're racing so hard side by side, Corey Silva, who led that lap time, and the 00 of Jared Mogard, they're not losing too much time to third place Will Worsler, which is pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive, and they might be working together just a little bit. Now look at that, he's going to give him a little bit of a shove, and now he's going to jump on out right here. It's like dancing, you know? You don't want to step on each other's toes, going back and forth. Just that side by side. I'm really impressed though that Will Worsler and Devin Sierra, man, they have not caught their leaders just yet with all this swapping back and forth. It's been consistent 0.7 of a second from third place, from first place all the way to third place, and they're really swapping the lead. They just want to try to break a Texas lead change, constantly coming to the start-finish line. And I tell you what, Will Worsler, he just tried to pull in the block on Devin Sierra, and Sierra was just not having it, man. He was going to go down in that apron. Will Worsler's racing really hard, really aggressive here, trying to pinch him down just a little bit, almost contact between the two drivers. So we got two battles going on. We got a battle for third going on, we got a battle for the top spot. It's still swapping back and forth. Mogard's still trying to keep that heavy-duty momentum on the bottom side of the racetrack. Silva on the higher side. Silva's going to end up losing the lead right here, but he's going to kind of cut back down. Let's see if he does it again. Man, he just gets some good runs off of turn number 2. They just want to keep this up. Oh my goodness, number 9 almost smacked the wall off of turn number 2. That was Brandon Stokes, but we're still battling for third. Well, actually, we're battling for third place, but we're still battling for the race lead, and they're still pulling away. I think this is a good time to say that these two cats are in co-opetition with each other right now.
I mean, we're still fairly early in the race, so I'm sure these two drivers are giving each other plenty of room. With 38 laps down, we're on lap number 39. As Mogard and the 94 of Corey Silva just keep swapping this lead back and forth. Mogard back underneath that number 94 truck, side by side. Will Wurzler now about a second behind your 2 leaders as they continue to swap positions. But looks like the number 94 of Corey Silva has finally been able to get that truck out front and cleared of Mogard at this point in the lap. We'll see if Mogard can do anything to come back at that number 94 machine as they go through turns number 1 and 2, but I think Corey Silva is just going to take that line away from Mogard, take that clean air away from the number 00, and that's definitely important. As you see a few passes a little bit further back, Devin Serra has now worked his way up into the 3rd position, getting around Will Wurzler. Evan Black now has moved up into 5th, getting around Tyler Sauvel.
Yeah, absolutely, man. These cats are still kind of battling here within the top 5 area. Will Wurzler's kind of falling back a little bit. He did pull an aggressive move on Sierra. Sierra wasn't going to have it. Right now, Evan Black's trying to get a good run off of turn number 2. He does, but he gets a door slammed on him. He might look towards the inside, but he actually may have lost his momentum trying to get that run when he got that door slammed on him.
Yeah, and they're side by side now. Look at the number 92, Evan Black, trying to use the high line to get around Will Wurzler. Going to use that high line to get a great run out of turn number 4. Use all that momentum. Still really tight between Evan Black and Will Wurzler. They're all single file, at least for now. As the number 69, John Jenkins, going to dive to the inside of Evan Black, not quite able to stay to his inside. As you see that little flick of the wrist coming out of turn number 2. It looks like these trucks are starting to get a little bit loose. In fact, I saw the number 9 of Brandon Stokes get loose a lap or so ago. He's currently running in the 8th position just behind this battle. It's pretty much a 5-truck battle for the 3rd position, although Devin Serra has kind of scooted away just in front. But definitely really, really impressive racing up near the front here at Texas Motor Speedway. You're not missing anything at the front, because the number 94 of Corey Silva has broken away here ever so briefly from Jared Mogard, but definitely putting on a good show.
Boy, Evan Black, when he's on that high side, that number 92 truck, man, I tell you what, he gets to the high side and he comes off the corner, it's like a hot dog flying out of a bun. I'm not even kidding at all. I mean, he carries legs down the back straightaway every time. Right now he's going to try to do it again. He's going to try to go again at Will Wurzler here using a high line. Watch him carry these legs down the back straightaway and try to catch up that back bumper. But by the time he catches that back bumper of Will Wurzler, there's really nowhere to go to pass him just yet. But he gets a good dive down into turn number 3, but the door got slammed.
Yeah, and look at Mogard there going for the lead once again up at the front. Not quite able to do so just yet. But number 94 still leading up at the front. Jared Mogard still in 2nd position, Sarah 3rd, Wurzler 4th, Evan Black 5th, John Jenkins 6th, but still looking to improve his position. We've seen him in the top 5 for most of this race, now just sitting 1 spot outside of it. Brandon Stokes worked his way now up to 7th. Tyler Sauvel has slid back to 8th. 9th place, Alexander Pelican. 10th place, Jimmy McKee. And it seems like 10th place has basically been Jimmy McKee's spot the entire race long. He started there, and he's been running there pretty much every time we've mentioned where he is on the track. So Jimmy McKee in that number 31 Monster Energy Chevrolet looking at this battle out front.
Man, I'll tell you what, Jimmy McKee might have to drink some more Monster to get a little bit amped up here, because I'm sure he wants to try to get that 31 I'm sure he wants to try to get that 31 machine towards the front. There's a lot of side-by-side battling going on here, realistically. A lot of different lines. It looks like the high line's coming. Man, Evan Black is extremely loose off of turn number 4. He catches it, though. I tell you what, there's 2 distinctive lines I'm seeing down in turns 1 and 2. And I'm definitely seeing it more in 3 and 4. But look at that number 9 machine going a little higher than usual, trying to get around the number 69, a brand of John Jenkins. Man, he's going to make that work.
Yeah, really impressive there, and Jenkins trying to hold on to that spot. Stokes still using that high line to try and get around it, but looks like the number 69 is going to stay in the 6th position at least for now, as they've all kind of gotten single file for the first 5 trucks. That battle for the 6th position between Stokes and Jenkins is the hottest battle on the race circuit. We've seen Jimmy McKee close in on Alexander Pelican just a little bit. That's a battle for the 9th position, but definitely good battles throughout the field. Alex Giese, should mention him. That number 77 machine, we said he needs a good finish. And Alex Giese is currently down 1 lap here at Texas Motor Speedway. So that's kind of, I'm not quite sure how that happened. I think it was an unscheduled pit stop for Giese to put him 1 lap down, but he's definitely showing some pace because he's been pretty much equaling the leaders last few laps. So I think he's got a few laps fresher tires on that number 77 truck, but currently the first and only truck 1 lap down. So would be the lucky dog if a caution was to come out.
This is a great time right now to collect as much information as you can. Right now, we can definitely tell who has the truck, that long run speed. And right now, we do have the lap 50. So this will be the halfway lap right here. That top spot is still kind of really heating up, and the pressure is still on because Mogard is got the legs down the back straightaway. Will he try to pull out this time around? And he will as he enters the corner of the racetrack. Silva pinches him down a little bit. Oh, he's going to drift a little higher above, but he might have the highlight run. Will he stick it? Yep, Silva will beat him to the line right there. All right, so my trivia question was, who was one of the worst drivers to compete in the NASCAR Cup Series side at Texas, who just didn't perform very good there? He is a NASCAR Hall of Fame there, but did have 1 victory at Texas Motor Speedway. Can you take a guess? Well, if you guessed him right, then you guessed him right. It was Jeff Gordon, who had terrible Texas starts back in 97, 98, and 99. I think he had 4 years in a row of bad Texas incidents, and he finally captured that victory in 2009. Now, a year before 2009, in 2008, Jeff Gordon had one of the worst cars in that field, and he finished as dead last for, I think it was the 1st or 2nd time in his Cup career at Texas. So, 92 in the wall.
Yeah, we're 3 wide down the back stretch. Tyler Sauvel decided to back out there in the middle in that number 11 machine. But yeah, Devin Black definitely caught the wall coming out of turn number 2. You see a little bit of right front damage there on that truck. We'll have to see how that aerodynamic damage on that truck affects his pace as he's battling side by side with the number 9 of Brandon Stokes. Stokes is going to have the preferred line here through turns number 1 and 2. Stokes will be able to clear Evan Black coming off the corner, so move Stokes up into the 6th position as Evan Black now comes under fire from the number 11 of Sauvel. Definitely not something you want, some right front damage. That's always going to affect the way your truck drives as the battle up at the front.
Evan Black extremely loose. He fishtailed it off the corner of turn number 4. Black, that handling is really coming into play. And before I start talking about the trivia there, Peter, what? Oh, battle for the top spot again.
Yeah, Jaron Mogard went underneath Corey Silva in turns number 1 and 2, made it stick down there, so move Mogard back to the front. Look at Mogard running that Dale Earnhardt Jr.-esque line here around the track, or maybe I should say the number 42 line, as Mogard definitely showing that he's got some long run pace here. And he's pulled away from Corey Silva in just about a lap. So I said it a little bit earlier that this track would widen up as the tires continue to wear, and I think that's exactly what we're seeing here.
Tell you what, Mogard, you call it the Dale Earnhardt Jr. line as he goes through turns 3 and 4 here right now. But I tell you what, I call it the Harry Gant groove. You get right next to that wall, and realistically, and realistically, you can't fit a piece of paper between your door and the wall. So, but he's running. Everybody's running the bottom in 1 and 2. The reason why they're not running the higher line in 1 and 2 is because it's so bumpy up there. It's probably the most treacherous part of the racetrack is the bumps on the high side. And as you see on screen right now, Evan Black on the higher line right now against the 44 machine of Alexander Pelican as they head down into turn number 3. There is a car on pit road. I think. Is that who I think it is? John Jenkins on pit road? No, not John. It's somebody else. There's somebody else.
Yeah, it is Miller, Calvin Miller in the number 84 AC/DC Chevrolet down on pit road, currently getting 4 fresh tires. Definitely has had enough of the 4 tires that he had, the 4 non-fresh tires that he had, definitely getting a little bit slippery out there. But it's very interesting to see this track has widened up just a little bit. You see that number 00 of Mogard running a little bit higher, and I thought he was going to pull away here, Tanner, but he hasn't. And Corey Silva has closed right back on the rear bumper of Jared Mogard. So definitely interesting to see that, and keep an eye on that number 20 of Devin Serra and the 69. Oh, Mitch Brown, the 51 is slow on the front stretch. Not quite sure what's happened. He's having connection issues as well. Yeah. Contact with the number 80.
Oh, cars on this might bring out a caution.
And Jack Wells in the number 80 had nowhere to go. The number 51 still slow on the racetrack. This might bring out caution. It has brought out the caution. So Mitch Brown experiencing some difficulty here, and you saw that contact between those 2 trucks. What happened here from Jack Wells? Mitch Brown has retired from this event. So we'll see the 51 all of a sudden slow down the front stretch. And man, it looked like he almost ran out of fuel, then had that connection issues, and Jack Wells had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that was a connection issue that bit the heads of Jack Wells and Mitch Brown. And man, Jack, he was just the innocent bystander right there, just trying to run his race. All of a sudden, a car disappears, he reappears, and you get taken out because of that. Very unfortunate in them situations, but sometimes things like that do happen here on iRacing in the simulator, as this does bring out another caution flag. But I tell you what, Peter, if I was in the top 10, I'm not leading the race, but if I was like about 8th place for Alexander Pelican, I tell you what, I gathered a lot of information. I understand how the truck's going to be on the longer run. I wish we could see a longer run. I wish we could have seen green flag pit stops. Yeah, I could have mixed things up just a little bit. But now I'm going to come down pit road. I'm going to get me some 4 fresh stickers, fill that thing up with fuel, and I'm going to try to get back on out there once again. It just seemed like the class of the field here today is Jared Mogard and Corey Silva. But you can't count out that number 20. That cat right there, Devin Sierra, the Martinsville winner, carrying the momentum from Martinsville as pit stops are over.
Yeah, and all these drivers on pit road. The last run was about 43 or 44 laps. So with only 41 laps to go, these drivers could be making what might be their final pit stop, as everyone would come down and hit their pit box, led by the number 00 of Jared Mogart.
Most definitely, you don't want to make a mistake here on pit road. This could be one of the final pit stops of the race. Should it remain green? At least I think so, because we are 40 laps to go. I think the pit window is about 450 laps. And right there, look at Devin Sierra! 4 tires, and he's out of there, and he got the race lead from Jared Mogard and Corey Silva. How about them app?
Yeah, that 13.8 second stop by that pit crew definitely getting him out front first. I did see Pete Baskins in the number 3 truck. He actually had to reverse to get into his pit box. He lost an absolute ton of time on pit road. So that number, the number 20 of Devin Serra had a great pit stop. The number 3, Pete Baskins, had just the opposite. So really impressive by that crew to get him out first. Of course, there's kind of a lottery when it comes to pit stops here in iRacing, but sometimes it just so happens to work your way. Other times it doesn't. But for this time, it definitely worked in the favor of Devin Serra. There you see Jim Foose on your screen. He's currently gained 7 positions from the start of the race, currently in the 16th position per the ticker. We'll see if it updates this time by. There's Kevin Sargent in the number 09 coming around. Number 3 of Pete Baskins right behind him.
Boy, you kind of mentioned a little bit before I bring it up. That team on the 20 team down pit road, man, they're all giving each other high fives. That's for sure on a stellar pit stop for that group. But let's talk a little bit about Jim Foose. We have not really talked about him too much in the last 2 weeks here in the Truck Series side from Martinsville and Texas. Jim Foose has been riding around where he's practically started. He started 2030, he's only up to 19th. This is the highest he's been practically all race long, at least from what I've seen, due to a lot of the action here today. Maybe went up a little bit on the live timing and scoring during the green flag run, but Jim's been very quiet in the last 2 weeks at Martinsville in Texas. He's second place in the championship standings at the moment, but hopefully Jim can shake off the cobwebs a little bit and try to get that number 42 machine up towards front in the top 10. Maybe he can be the contender to win this thing, but he's got a lot of drivers to go. He's got to get through 18 other drivers to do it. We'll keep an eye on Jim's stats as this race will go on here this evening. Second place in the championship standings behind Jared Mogart.
Yeah, I should also mention Stephen Trombley in the number 19 machine. He pulled off track 36 laps ago or so in that number 19, and he will not be finishing this race. Mitch Brown has taken the 51 truck to the garage. The number 80 of Jack Wells involved in the accident that brought out this caution. He currently sits on pit road getting that damage fixed, but currently sits 2 laps down. So we'll have to see if Jack loses some more laps. Calvin Miller in the 84, he came down pit road. We saw under green flag conditions, and he lost a lap in doing so, and he currently sits 1 lap here. So Jack will be back on the lead lap. So definitely, actually I think he's now 1 lap down. So I think that waiver round brought him back to just being 1 down. So he'll probably need a lucky dog to get back on the lead lap.
Tell you what, Devin Sierra got the that fast pit crew he has down pit road, and they gave him the track position. We're back green flag racing. Devin Sierra, Corey Silva, Will Worsley, John Jenkins, the top 5 as they come across the start-finish line. Devin is already down in turn number 1. He is smooth sailing, but that battle will continue right there. But I think there might be a spoiler alert with that number 29 machine, Will Worsler. He's been trying to be a little bit aggressive today. Not too aggressive, but he's aggressive at times when needed to be, because he's battling side by side with Corey Silva right now. Silva's probably as low as he's been all race long as they battle for third.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye on a situation that might be brewing, because Kelsey Rogers in the number 35 truck did change lanes on that race. Oh, we had a caution out. Caution is out.
Oh no,
oh,
that's on the dog leg or the front stretch here. Oh, yes. 1 machine.
Chris Titus as well involved. The couple other trucks involved. Christopher Lane involved. Oh, let's see. Ooh, man, hard contact with the outside wall. Ohala involved as well.
Yeah, that 01 machine just that's Christopher Lane. He did not take that arc. He did not take that dog leg very well. You'll see it here on the replay. The way he arced into that first dog leg right there, it just shot to the outside wall. And as soon as he shot to the outside wall, man, it just ricocheted into the inside towards other drivers. Oh, a car flipping over. I think it's a 25 machine. Yeah, that's Chris Titus flipping. And his day is on pit road and almost practically done for the remainder.
And they're riding on board with the number 25 machine, and you see him go for these rolls just here.
I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it.
Painful.
Oh. And he get clipped in the right rear quarter panel and get turned over.
And one of the drivers that I was mentioning just a little bit ago, Pete Baskins, also had to take that truck to the garage, and you must think that that might be an artifact of him coming down and missing his pit box. So I'm sure he's going to be really disappointed with the way that this race ends, but definitely tough breaks for Chris Titus, Pete Baskins, Steve Buhala, and Chris Lane. But for Calvin Miller in the number 84 machine, he should be able to take the lucky dog here. We were just saying he was 1 lap down after that waiver round, so he'll be able to get back on the lead lap here and come down and get 4 fresh tires. I'm sure he'll be excited to have a shot at gaining a few more positions here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, most definitely. Just Devin Sierra, man. I just can't believe how fast that pit crew was on pit road. I got in that track position, but there's some drivers I'm kind of seeing that are trying to outside look in that top 10. Sam Maxwell is going to be one of those drivers. Ty Hester's another. We haven't talked about Ty Hester too much as of recently. He had a great run on the Cup Series side back in Auto Club Speedway, and I thought he was pretty decent at Martinsville. But right now he started 31st and currently in 13th. Haven't talked about him too much. And look who's just behind, a little bit back of Ty Hester. You got Evan Black and Jared Haggerty. Jared had to start from the rear of the field here today. He's trying to make his presence known just a little bit. And hopefully he can settle with a good run here at Texas. That's what he needs, is a good run.
As these drivers will go across the stripe this time, it will be the 100-mile mark here in the Sam Maxwell Customs 150. Only 50 miles left to go. 33 laps. As we race under caution, Richard Fletcher in the number 47 truck, down but not out. Fletcher getting that damage repaired, and he's brought that machine back to the circuit. We last saw him on lap number 15 for the second caution of the night. We saw that truck smoking, but Fletcher has brought that 47 Cessna Toyota Tundra back out there and hoping to gain at least one more spot. I don't quite think he can get to Mitch Brown, but he can definitely get around Stephen Trombley, who in the 19 truck, who retired just a few laps after him. So Richard Fletcher is looking at most likely a 33rd place finish if he can stay out there and Trombley stays in the garage, as is expected. Jack Wells might be thinking of coming back to the track. We'll have to wait and see. But definitely interesting to see Fletcher back out there. Definitely waited to get all of those repairs done, Tanner, and showing some fighting spirit.
Most definitely, for sure. I mean, you got to show a little fighting spirit, man. You got to have that never give up attitude when you're around iRacing, for sure, and you're racing at no matter track. You just can't give up. You just got to keep trying. And when you keep trying, good things come out of it, for sure. We just reached the 1-to-go signal this time by. So let's go ahead and kind of reset here for you again. Devin Sierra, Jared Mogard, Corey Silva, Will Worsler, John Jenkins, the top 5. Tyler Sawville, Brandon Stokes, Kelsey Rogers, Jimmy McKee, and Jimmy, you only gained one spot. Let's gain some more. And Troy Haight rounding out the top 10. And Jimmy, he's currently in 9th place. He'll be on the bottom line. That's practically the preferred groove. We only had that was only a very short green flag run, so the tires they've cooled off now for a little bit here, and they got some grip in them yet. So hopefully Jimmy can get a little towards the front, maybe a top 5 finish. I know he's got a top 10 truck for sure.
You know, it was interesting to see a few trucks did come down pit road. I mean, you're looking at Evan Black. We've seen some really good pace out of him. He's going to be restarting 22nd. Alexander Pelican going to be starting P20. So a couple good trucks now way back in the field, as we only have 31 laps to go once we go back to green.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll have to keep an eye on the status of that number 92 truck. I know he's bad fast. He was bad fast since he dropped the green flag. He just hit that outside wall, and that truck has never been the same. Back up towards front. Pace cars in. Devin Sierra, Mogard, Silver, Warsaw, Jenkins. We're back green flag racing at Texas. And oh boy, Mogard changed lanes there to try to slam the door on Silva. And I do believe that, if I'm not mistaken, in the rule book, that you can change lanes on a restart, but not the start of the race. So that was definitely a strategy played for Mogard. Man, a little bit of defensive line there. They're going to enter turn number 3. They're all single file, first side-by-side battle. Will Worsler using that higher line on stickers, and it's not working out because he just lost a spot to Brandon Stokes to the start-finish line. I'd say that high line comes in when the tires wear, not when they are fresh, because when they're fresh, everybody will dive to the bottom.
Yeah, and great run tonight for Brandon Stokes, getting that number 9 truck into the 5th position at this present moment in time, as that number 29, Will Worsler, now coming under fire from Kelsey Rogers. And we've seen a lot of speed out of Kelsey this season, but it seems like tonight he hasn't quite been able to break into the top 5. Just been maybe just a little bit off in that number 35. But he's definitely showing that he's still pretty fast as he's trying to get his way back up into the top 5 with only 29 laps to go.
29 laps remaining. The clock is getting in louder. And actually, I think Devin Sierra's grandfather clock that he won at Martinsville is getting louder because he's leading the way, and he just wants that thing to chime because that means we're getting down to it towards the end of the race here. 28 laps remaining at Texas.
Keeping an eye on some of those drivers who did come down and pit. Alexander Pelican is back there, and he has now worked his way up to the 15th position, which is quite impressive. In fact, looking out of the drivers who did pit, Pelican is the highest placed driver of those who pitted, and he's trying to get around the number 17 of Richard Stallings right in front of him, the number 6 of Jared Haggerty another spot ahead. So as the number 44 continues to work his way through the field on those fresher tires, about 5-lap fresher tires than the trucks all around him, but not many more fresh laps on, or I should say, not many less laps on that set of tires, or at least green flag laps, as he gets underneath Jared Haggerty.
Boy, he wants
back up at the front.
Yeah, back up towards the front. It's getting hairy as Pelican just got underneath the 17 back there. And back up towards the front here, you got Mogard still trying to really battle with Silva. Devin Sierra has not really pulled away. They're keeping tabs with Devin. They're trying to see what Devin's got, trying to see what line he's running, and maybe they can take a page out of his book because we've seen some great passes for the top spot here today between Mogard and Silva. Now, if you're going to add it in third car in that mix, man, there's actually some blocking, heavy-duty blocking mid-pack. Trying to find out who that was. That was the 11 machine trying to get around 29, slam the door. Now he's side by side with the 35 machine of Kelsey Rogers. That 11 is Tyler Sawville. Now he's side by side with Will Worsler.
And it seems like Will is dropping back all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen him up near the front, but since he lost that spot to Brandon Stokes, now he's going to give up a spot to Tyler Sawville. Kelsey Rogers is going to look to the inside of Will Worsler. Definitely seems like all of a sudden Will Worsler just starting to lose some track position here, lose some ground to the leaders as he's starting to get freight trained just a little bit. I think he's going to hold off Kelsey Rogers here for just a lap, but look at your top 5. I mean, you could put a blanket over the top 5, especially the number 20 and the 00.
Mogard got really close to that back bumper, especially that left rear quarter panel there of Devin Sierra. Mogard's hitting them runs now. Just seems like Mogard is pretty even with everybody else on stickers. They can't make too many big moves to try to go for a pass, but as soon as the run, oh man, he's going to drop up the hill a little bit. He catches it, but it just seems like as the run goes on, that truck with that 00 and the 94 just come alive.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw that on that long green flag run that they had, that Mogard was able to get the lead back from Corey Silva and didn't really pull away, but those two trucks were definitely the class of the field on the long run. Sarah just trying to stay out front for now, as we only have 23 laps to go. For all those people wondering what Alexander Pelican is doing, he's worked his way up into the 11th position, but he's got quite a gap to the 10th place truck, which is Troy Haight in the number 28. Good to see Troy Haight with a respectable run, as they're side by side for the 8th position between Kelsey Rogers and Jimmy McKee on the left side of your screen. And don't go anywhere because there is a 00 right on the back of the 20 once again.
Ooh.
I mean, Mogard's Mogard's made the pass on the 94 a couple times. And speaking of a pass on the 94, here's number 69, John Jenkins.
John Jenkins making a pass right now on Corey Silva. Corey Silva actually being challenged for the first time, other than Mogard, who was battling with him earlier. And I tell you what, Jenkins has actually been doing a very good job all race long. He started in the top 5 this evening. To be specific, he started in 3rd. He's currently in 4th. He's been there all race long, having such a tremendous race here today. John Jenkins, what a whale of a run for him, as that top spot is just not going anywhere. Mogard's all over that back bumper right now of Devin Sierra.
You know, I saw that last time by Tanner. Mogard tried that higher line through turns number 3 and 4. We saw him use it on the long run and make good speed out of that higher line. He's going to try it again this lap. You can see him there kind of just running a little bit above that first seam in the track. Going to get a good run out of turn number 4, but he lost a little bit of ground entering turns number 3 and 4. Not going to quite be able to recover the time he lost, but those trucks are really, really close up the front.
Sarah's just trying to hold him off, and I think Mogard's got the big old run right here. He's going to look towards the inside. There he goes. Side by side for the pass for the top spot here at Texas. About 19 laps to go. 18 when they come to the start-finish line. It's right here. So Sarah is being challenged for that top spot from Mogard. Mogard, one of the fastest trucks out here in the field here today. Man, that was a photo finish right there. 6/1000ths of a second. Sarah led that lap over Mogard, and Mogard's going to get the preferred line on the bottom line, and he takes the lead.
It's going to be interesting to see what Sarah learned when he was a little bit behind Mogard and the 94, and I was just about to say it. He was right behind the number 94 of Corey Silva and Mogard when those two drivers swapped positions lap after lap after lap. And here we go once again. It's going to be the two-car, two-step here at Texas once again.
Yeah, these cats are really going to go at it here. I tell you what, John Jenkins has not been able to shake off Corey Silva. Corey Silva battling really hard for top spot, almost hitting the outside wall. Mogard, I thought he would have had a better run down coming off turn number 2. He just didn't have a quite have that same run. Got a loose exit in the corner, and right now he's up to that back bumper of that number 20 machine of Sarah. Man, things are gonna get hairy here, man. If these cats keep battling for this top spot, man, don't look back. So Silva's finally cleared Jenkins, and we know Silva's fast. So if Silva can catch these top two guys, it's gonna be a 3-car battle for the race lead. And right now they're pulling Jenkins along too, so maybe a 4-car battle for the top spot.
Yeah, but here comes the number 00 once again. Ooh, he had to back out of it there because Sarah was coming down the racetrack. Good heads-up awareness there by Mogard to just get on the brakes just a little bit and let Sarah in. Otherwise, that would have ended in tears for those two trucks. There's still plenty of time, 15 laps to go, 22.5 miles around this 1.5-mile raceway. Look at Mogard almost bumping the back bumper of Sarah's truck.
He did.
And man, when you make that little bit of contact there through the corner, I'm surprised Sarah was able to hold on to that truck, not get sideways. But like you said, that number 94, Corey Silva, is closing in pretty quickly.
He got Mogard got the run at the wrong time. When he got the run, man, he got into the middle of the corner, but he bumped him. But he really had nowhere to go. Right now, right here, he gets that run on the 20 machine. He gives him a little bit of a love tap. Just a love tap. Just a little bit of a kiss. And that's practically saying, hey, man, I'm coming after you. And Sarah, he's definitely feeling pressure because, I mean, the top four cars are separated by 0.5 of a second. Come on, lap traffic right now. Lap traffic's getting out of the way. And, I mean, we're coming down to it right now. Mogard realizes that. He's just trying to test the water just a little bit on the number 20 machine of Sarah. Watch him try to get that same run again. He understands where to get the run. Whenever Mogard gets that run, it's the middle of the corner. But by the time he reaches that back bumper, he has to back off of it because he doesn't want to run over his competitor out there. And he's just trying to test the waters and where he can get the run, where he can get the best run. In my opinion, corner exit, get that huge run, get side by side, and try to race him like you did with Silver earlier.
Yeah, I'm surprised Mogard hasn't tried that second groove again. We saw him try it a few laps ago. It didn't seem like it was exactly working for him, but now they have a few more laps on those tires. I'm kind of surprised Mogard hasn't gone just above that second seam through turns number 3 and 4, but Mogard's got a really good run here coming out of turn number 2, able to close right up to the back bumper of that number 20. Once again, not quite close enough though.
There we go.
Just as I say that, there goes Mogard to run that little bit higher line, get some fresh air on the nose, see if he can get a run up off the corner, gets really close to the outside wall.
I think he may have just kissed the wall. Maybe he kissed it? No, I guess he didn't.
Oh, Sarah's going to throw a block here.
Bumper tag right there. Gets Sarah a little bit sideways. That is the man, I tell you what, that could have been 3 strikes and you're out. I mean, kind of a deal right there. But here goes Mogard once again. High line and fancy. Wants that run on the 20 machine of Sarah. Now, the reason why some drivers are not utilizing that higher line anymore down turns 1 and 2, look at the track. Earlier when they were running the high line 1 and 2, the sun was beating down the racetrack. Not anymore. Thanks to day-to-night transitions, the sun has moved towards the direction that is now causing turn 1 and 2 to be shaded, and it might be getting tight on entrance. That's why they're probably not running it. But the sun is beating down turns 3 and 4, and it's hot and slick, so you can maneuver a little bit better. Mogard is definitely utilizing that high line. Look at Silva right behind Mogard, seeing how this is unfolding. He wants to try it. Mogard looks to the inside. Sarah realizes it kind of throws a little bit of a block. You got 9 laps remaining at Texas.
Yeah, I mean, got to give it to Jared Mogard. He's trying everything he can in the 0-0 to get around Devin Sarah. Sarah, of course, going for his back-to-back wins, winning last week at Martinsville Speedway, trying to get the win at a very, very different racetrack. I mean, Martinsville, a half-mile short track.
Oh, sideways! Oh, and no, John Jenkins, no! Oh, yeah, man.
John Jenkins and the number 69, tough break for him. That little bit of contact with, actually, there was no contact with the number 94. He just kind of got out of the groove. We'll see this on the replay here. I thought there might have been a little bit of contact because, like you said, the number 94 was
Tyler
really loose.
Almost hitting the inside wall. He saved it.
You saw that on the replay. The number 69 just getting loose. He's dropped back to the 5th position. Brandon Stokes has passed him for 4th, but Brandon Stokes getting loose now.
Yeah. Hey, things are getting hairy now, boys. I mean, we're coming down to the end of the race right here, and it's practically now a 2-man race. Silva's kind of fallen off a little bit after utilizing the Jared Mogard line in 3 and 4. It was working for him, but ever since he got loose, he lost a lot of time to the top 2 drivers as Mogard versus Sarah. This is practically the same thing at Martinsville last week, except Sarah beat Mogard to the start-finish line in Martinsville, and now it's a rematch.
Yeah, I'm sure Mogard's going to try and finish 1 spot better than Martinsville and try and get this good result here. He came into tonight as the points leader, trying to pad that points lead with a win here, trying to find a way around that number 20 machine. Not quite yet able to find it, but there he goes. He's trying that higher line once again, running really high on the racetrack, almost up in that 3rd groove. Not yet able to find that speed. He lost a little bit of the time there that lap. Devin Sarah, fastest truck on the race circuit. Mogard was only about 2/100ths of a second slower, however, as we only have 5 laps to go.
5 laps to go here in the Sam Maxwell Customs Texas 150, and if caution flies, it will practically end the race. And man, there's a lot of activity in the back of the pack. That is John Jenkins once again. His truck has really fallen off. Unfortunate, he could have had a good finish here today, but he still can pull off a good finish. He's still within the top 5 right now. He's battling Will Worsler at the moment. John Jenkins backed up to 6th place, now 7th place. But that battle for the top spot, man, it is not over. He might be separated by 0.3 of a second. But, we got more trouble. Oh! And this might bring out the yellow flag. If it does, the race is over.
Nope. He's off the racing line. And he was just off the racing line, so green flag stays in the air, and that is a tough break for the 69 of John Jenkins. We saw him fast all night long, and definitely going to end in tears on in the pit lane. But meanwhile, 3 laps to go. We're still green. The battle for the race lead is still on, and Mogard has caught the back bumper of Sarah once more, but he's running out of time to get that pass made.
Sarah may have been burnt off the tires just a little bit. Maybe the tires were ended up getting too hot when he was trying to make the run at Sarah and couldn't get by him. He tapped them 3 times in the back bumper, and that 3rd time got squirrely on Sarah's part. 2 laps remaining here at Texas. It's come down to Sarah versus Mogard Part 2. Just like how it was last week at Martinsville. Can Mogard get that run? It's just a matter of when he can get that run. And once they collect the white flag, Peter... Oh, caution is out! The race is over!
Just like that.
And I was about to say, when they collect the white flag, anything goes. If there's a wreck, we stay green. But unfortunately, the number 66 machine has crashed. That is Edward Bray. That brings up the final caution of this race, and Devin Serra will capture the checkered flag. 2 wins in a row for that guy from his win last week on Martinsville, and he will win here tonight. Just got to bring it back to the start-finish line.
And you're watching this happen on replay. It looks like the
contact.
number 1 of Jason Stewart and the 66 of Edward Bray got together. They're just racing really hard on the front stretch. And I think that's Jared Haggerty in the number 6 that completely clobbered the number 66. We'll have to see if we can get a replay from that machine.
Ooh,
as all these drivers are now on the final lap. Everybody get your kazoo ready.
Coming off turn number 4, Devin Serra had a lot of momentum coming into this race with a win last week at Martinsville in the trucks, and he's going to capture another win this week in the trucks again. Devin Serra wins the Sam Maxwell Customs Texas 150 here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Congratulations to Devin. Jared Mogard 2nd place, Corey Silva in 3rd, Brandon Stokes 4th, Tyler Sawville the top 5.
Yeah, and definitely get your 6 shooters ready down in victory lane, because Devin Serra is going to be firing them off here at Texas Motor Speedway. There's always some pyrotechnics and some 6-shooter action down there with a couple of cowboy hats. The high horsepower rodeo here for the ASRS Sam Maxwell Customs Truck Series has come to a close. Unfortunately, it ended under caution, but Jared Mogard definitely had a shot at that win if it had stayed green, putting that pressure onto the back of Devin Serra. But Devin Serra, for the 2nd week in a row, like you said, he just did not crack under pressure. Really impressive to see him come around and get his 2nd checkered flag of the season. Getting a little bit of a nudge by Jim Foose, league organizer there in the 42, giving him a little congratulatory bump. And he'll light him up here on the straightaway. Spins it right around, right on the start-finish line. Nice celebration there for Devin Serra. But definitely for Mogard and Corey Silva once again, some of the fastest trucks, just like last week at Martinsville, but lost out to this man.
Oh yes, for sure there, Peter. It was a really good Texas race. We had some great green flag racing, great side-by-side action between Mogar and Silva, and especially trying to guess to see how Mogar was going to get around Serra for that top spot in the closing stages of this race. Unfortunately, the race had to end under caution, but we still seen a great 1.5-mile Texas truck race here today. But don't go away, folks, because we're going to be talking to the top 3 guys as soon as they are available, as soon as Devin's done doing all the burnouts. We're going to talk to Devin Serra, the race winner, Jared Mogard, and Corey Silva. Please do not go away. Live here on 3Y TV.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And welcome back to the Texas Motor Speedway, where we just witnessed the ASRS Sam Maxwell Customs Truck Series for the Sam Maxwell Customs Texas 150. Devin Serra held off Jared Mogard in the closing stages of the race, felt the pressure for sure, but a caution saved Serra from that pressure to get him in victory lane tonight. There was no doubt that Devin Serra was bad fast since the drop of the green flag. Can't take anything away from the top 3 drivers. They were all fast and up there, especially with John Jenkins up there in the top 5 majority of the night. It was unfortunate that he came out into the worst end of it as a late race accident, but still can't take anything away from him. So let's actually talk to the 3rd place driver right now. I think Peter Short has caught up with 3rd place driver Corey Silva.
All right, Corey Silva, Peter Short here in the 3-wide TV booth. 3rd place run for you tonight. That's one spot better than Martinsville 1 week ago, but you definitely had a lot of pace leading a lot of laps early on in the race. And it's something like you and Jared Mogard were the class of the field for most of the race, but a couple of pit stops there didn't quite work out for you. You ended up in the 3rd position, kind of held onto that spot for most of the end of the race, but kind of talk us through the race from your perspective, because you definitely had a lot of speed tonight.
Yeah, and in all honesty, it threw me off because I wasn't expecting it out of this place. It's not usually my strong suit, but we got some good runs in and we saved the tires. But it seemed like if you were the leader, you couldn't get away. It was almost easier running in 2nd for some reason. So I held on Mogard's bumper. I tried getting by. We were side by side forever, and then I couldn't pull away from him. And it just seemed like that trend carried on the whole race with everybody.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting night. I mean, we saw that the track actually cooled off about 10 degrees because of the sun slowly setting and the shadows coming across the racetrack. Did those shadows play a part in the kind of a little bit of the fact that you ended up in 3rd position? Because we saw you were pretty much the fastest truck for the beginning part of the race, but the track change, did that lead to a little bit of pace drop off?
Yeah, it made it, the top went away. That's where I was getting a lot of time in 3 and 4. I was really making some time up top, but as the track cooled off, the line kind of moved a little bit more down in 3 and 4, so that made it even harder at the end, and it kind of took away what I had going for.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see how these day-to-night transitions actually do. I wouldn't say day-to-night, but the time transitions do affect the grooves, especially at a track like Texas Motor Speedway, where it is a fairly multi-groove racetrack. So that's definitely interesting to hear from you. But, you've had a good start to the season here, 5 races into the truck schedule. What does it mean to you to have a good start to the season?
Oh, sorry, I lost for a sec. Once I got back in the swing of it, and I've had some bad luck, once that kind of got away, it's been fun. I mean, Martinsville, I should have won that race in all honesty. I had a good run here. Atlanta was really good, so we're finally starting to get some stride, just not having bad luck, and hopefully we can carry.
Absolutely. Well, the next race that we have is going to be at the Auto Club Speedway, at least here on the truck side of things. That's going to be April 9th, a 63-lap event for the Auto Club 125. What are your thoughts about Auto Club?
In all honesty, I'd have to check the schedule to see if it's daytime or nighttime. If it's nighttime, it's going to be a plate track. If it's daytime, then it might be a little more interesting. So that variable will affect my opinion whenever I.
Well, I can say it's going to be a night race, so...
well, then I'm not looking forward to it.
Well, that just about answers that one. Well, before we let you go, great run tonight. You got any shout-outs for us?
Yeah, just PTR TV, Primetime Racing, Rapid Fire Graphics, and then, of course, you guys.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is your third-place finisher, Corey Silva. Corey, we hope to see you again next week.
Yeah, will do, guys.
All right, well, Tanner Sharp here in the booth. I think he has caught up with the second-place finisher. That would be the number 00 of Jared Mogart.
I've caught up with Jared Mogart on the 00, who had one of the dominating trucks here tonight, along with Corey Silva. And Jared, you got a copy there, buddy?
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah, I definitely got you. And Jared, you're fast, man. You're very fast. It just seemed like the pit strategy of Darren Serra beating you guys off the pit road with 4 tires on an amazing pit stop that he had, but you still didn't give up. Fought and fought and fought. Tried to find ways to get around Devin there, especially down in turns 3 and 4 when the sun was hitting the racetrack. You're utilizing the higher side. Take me to the closing moments of the race. What were you trying to figure out with the truck? And did you had a plan? And if so, how were you able to try to get around Devin Serra if you had that white flag lap?
Yeah, we had a good race. Like you said, I don't know. You know, I didn't really know the top was up there, but teammate Christopher Lane pointed it out about halfway through the race there and went up there, and there was something up there. If you hit it right, you got a really good run, and you know, we get runs on them, and we were faster than them, but yeah, kind of blocked and did his thing up there. But you know, we could have wrecked him for the win, but you know, I don't race like that, so you know, he does, but we don't race like that. We don't, you know, don't want to wreck anybody for a win. Can't get it clean, you know. As much as we take second, we'll deal with it rather than wrecking somebody for the win.
I got to talk to you about one portion of the race where you were swapping the race lead back and forth, back and forth. You were doing the two-step with Corey Silva, except you guys weren't trying to step on each other's toes. Take me through that little battle for the lead that you guys had up there, and how did you guys maneuver that trucks? You guys look like you had super grip to do it out there on them tires. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, you know, that was fun. That right there is textbook. Awesome racing right there. That's how you race on these racetracks, you know, rather than blocking and doing all that good stuff. That's how you race right there, and that was fun. You know, we were just swapping it back and forth. I was better in 1 and 2. I could hit that bottom better than he could, but he was better in 3 and 4, and we both knew we were burning our stuff up, but we were having fun and made it good for the fans and for everybody watching. So it kind of helps when you can do that. But yeah, it was fun. He got by us, pulled away a little bit, and we ran him back down, and that's when Christopher told us about the top in 3 and 4 and went up there and reeled it back in and was able to get back by him before the yellow come out on like lap 60 or whatever it was.
Yeah, definitely. It was really fun to watch up here in the booth. You guys are just swapping it back and forth, and then the tires start to wear off just a little bit, and then a caution eventually flew. But nonetheless, Jared, you had a fast truck. You're fast every single week. By the way, congratulations on getting that pole here tonight. You certainly showed some stuff in qualifying. Are you able to carry that speed to our next track? Because the next track that we're going to is Auto Club Speedway, which is bumpy, but it still carries a lot of speed. You know, your best finish so far, you've already won a race, which is at Atlanta Motor Speedway. You got a second at Martinsville and a second here at Texas. You're bound to get the victory lane again. Can you do it at Auto Club?
Yeah, I think so. I felt like we gave this one away tonight, and you know, last week we were up to lunch and got lucky with second. So, you know, we've been getting the finishes when it counts. But yeah, I feel confident next week. It's a momentum racetrack. It's a rhythm racetrack at a Hickey Marks and stuff like that. Races similar to Michigan, which I like that, especially if we get a long run where the tires kind of start to go away a little bit, kind of slip and slide a little bit. So, yeah. Looking forward to it. Should be a fun race.
All right, Jared. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us this evening. Great job overall tonight on maneuvering with that truck, especially with the battles with Corey there. They were really fun to watch, and it was really interesting to watch you out there to try to get that top spot away from Devin. But unfortunately, caution flew at the wrong time, coming to the white flag, unfortunately. But best of luck next week at Auto Club Speedway. I'm sure you're going to be a fast one and a hard guy to beat.
Yeah, I just got to thank my sponsors quick. iBuyPower Computers, TDS Internet, Coffman Racing Graphics, Twitchy Race Reports, and all the MOSRN guys. They helped me out a little bit tonight, telling me about top 3 and 4, and their results weren't where they wanted to, but we'll get it, and hope the fans enjoy it, and thank you guys for.
All right, thank you very much, Jared, and best of luck next week.
Appreciate it, guys.
That is Jared Mogard in the 00 machine, who finishes second, one of the fastest trucks here this evening. And down in victory lane is Mr. Peter Short with Devin Serra.
Yep, I'm down here in victory lane with the 6 shooters is Devin Serra. And Devin, my oh my, you got that lead with a pit stop right when it matters. You were able to stay out front. You were able to hold off a very, very fast charging number 00, and you and Mogard swapped the lead a couple of times. What did you learn when you were in the 3rd place truck watching the number 94 in the 00 battle? Because you were lightning quick and was able to pull away from the number 00 when it mattered.
Well, I was just kind of trying to follow their lines a little bit and try and catch up to them best I could. I was trying to run the high side at one point. It wasn't working out for me, so I went back to the bottom, and I found out I was getting the most speed there, and I was able to hook it there and just get enough speed off the corner to catch him slowly. And then obviously we got the pit stop. Pit crew did a great job, and we got out in front there. And from there we were able to hold the lead. But it was really just about trying to find your car, the balance of getting loose and tight. I would get loose in the middle of a run, and then I'd get tight in other parts. So I was just trying to balance it best I could and find a way to pick apart the gap a little bit.
Yeah, well, definitely once you got to the front, you were able to pretty much stay there. But we heard from a couple of drivers here, especially Corey Silva, that once you got out front, it seemed like you couldn't really get away. It seemed like 2nd place was kind of easier to follow. Maybe it was a draft, maybe a little bit. But speak to that pressure that Jared Margaret put you under, because it must have been pretty immense.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many times me and Mogart have been in the lead against each other, but he was right down my throat the whole time, right on my back, and he was really giving me a hard time there for the lead. I think I got bumped a few times there, and one of the times I was able to save it and somehow stay ahead of him. But I was just trying to hit my marks, not make any mistakes, and I was able to do that. And I wasn't so sure about not being able to get away. I think it was more or less just Corey, Bogard, and me, and the rest of the guys. I think Will Worsler was up there, John Jenkins at one point. I think it just came down to being able to stick with each other, and I think we were all really close and skill based, and we were all able to maybe use a little bit of draft to hold together better. But I think we were just really evenly matched tonight, and I happened to be the one out front at the end. So yeah, it was really good to stay out front there and be able to pull away at the end.
Well, absolutely. I mean, definitely showing that you're a pretty skilled driver. Of course, winning last week at Martinsville, the half-mile short track, and now winning at an intermediate cookie-cutter mile and a half, definitely showing your talent. But, you've only completed 4 of the first 5 races here on the truck side of things. You had a big upturn in points last week. Trying to make inroads on the top 5 in points. Definitely having one race, against you, missing 1 race so far in the truck side of things. How does that change your mindset for these races, trying to make up points?
I don't think it changes the mindset at all. I think each week I come out here, I want to win a race, and the points are what they are. And I said it last week that we're just going to try and get back to the points race best we can. And the way we do that is not only getting good finishes, but winning races. So I don't think it really changes the mindset. I mean, the past years I've made the chase. It's not really been too stressful on points. There's been a few times where I've been on the edge, but whatever happens late in the season. We still have a long season to go. And right now it's all just about winning races and trying to get those points up. And, you know, that missed race I don't think is going to affect us too much. So I'm not too worried about it. And I think we'll get back into the points race. Keep running like this pretty soon.
Absolutely. Well, with tonight's win, you now have an average finish of 4.5 in the 4 races you have done, so that's mighty impressive. But the next Truck Series race will be at Auto Club Speedway, and the race next week is, in the Premier Series is in the Cup side of things. So we got Martinsville in Cup next week. We got Auto Club in 2 weeks. That's going to be a night race at Auto Club. What's your outlook going forward?
Well, I think we're going to focus on Auto Club and try and to manage our tires a little bit. Auto Club's been one of those tracks where everybody gets kind of really spread out, and it's really a tire management race. So I think I'm just going to think about how I can do the same thing I did here, qualify well, you know, manage the tires, and hopefully go get another win at Auto Club. But, man, I just want to give thanks to the help us out. Ski-Doo, Super Sled Online, Speedco, Baskins Knockback Motorsports, Danny Rogers, Pete Baskins, Robbie Baskins. Fortunately, Pete had some connection issues here and there tonight, so and then he got caught up in a late race incident. But to win 3 straight races for Baskins Knockback Motorsports is a really cool deal for us, and I think we're showing that we're a really competitive team, and we've got the capability to keep winning races and keep performing out here. So I'm going forward. I think we're just going to focus on each week and try and win the next race, and we're going to keep that mindset going forward. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Auto Club.
Absolutely. Well, there is, ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway, Devin Serra. Devin, we'll see you at the Auto Club Speedway, but until then, best of luck.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. Thanks.
All right. Well, Tanner, Devin said it. He's just going to focus on each race week by week and try and work his way up the point standings because, you know, you and I know points add up and points are important at the end of the season.
And that's what you got to do is when you win a race, no matter what it is, you still want to try to keep the momentum going and try to keep racking up the points as much as you can, especially those wins. The wins in NASCAR today mean more than anything else, and that's what keeps these drivers, try to keep them so competitive and keep them up towards the leaderboard. But let's read on the unofficial race results here. Devin Serra is your race winner here tonight for 2 weeks in a row from last week at Martinsville. Jared Mogard, second place again to Sarah. He'll finish second. Corey Silva in third spot. Corey says he's got a fast truck. It's just that wins has to be coming sooner or later, right? Well, hopefully it does come at Auto Club, but he did say that it might be a plate race for him if it's a night race. Brandon Stokes finishes in fourth after starting 12th here this evening. Tyler Sawville finishes fifth. Will Worsler had a good finish here today. Started fourth, finished sixth. Kelsey Rogers finishes seventh. Alexander Pelican in eighth. Jimmy McKee finishes in the ninth spot after starting 10th, practically where he was running majority of the day. And Troy Haight rounding off the top 10.
Evan Black in the number 92 truck, we saw him have some issues throughout the race, hitting the outside wall. He's going to finish that 11th. Tim Knott in the number 41 started in the 6th position, slid back into the 12th position at the end of the race. Sam Maxwell in the Sam Maxwell Customs machine finishes in 13th. Richard Stallings 14th. Alex Giese, good recovery by him. He was one lap down about the 1/3 race distance, but he comes home in the 15th position. League organizer Jim Foose, he came into tonight's race second place in points. He finishes 16th. Ty Hester 17th. Jonathan Holstein 18th. Jared Haggerty started near the back of the field, or he was able to work his way up to the 19th position at the end of it. And Jeremy Banning rounds out your top 20.
Finishing blackjack position is Jason Stewart in 21st position. Nick Curling finishes 22nd. Last car to leave lat Calvin Miller finishes 23rd. Kevin Sargent, first car one lap down, finishes 24th. Edward Bray finishes 25th. John Jenkins 26th. Chris Titus 27th. Christopher Lane 28th. 29th, Steve Bahula and Pete Baskins. Rounding out the top 30, Jack Wells finishes 31st. 32nd, Mitch Brown. Richard Fletcher finishes 33rd. Stephen Trombley finishes 34th. And Jamie Moore finishes 35th after a top 10 starting spot here today at Texas. That's 35 cars that started the event. Jim Walton did not start this evening's festivities. Peter, we're done with Texas. We move to Auto Club, where it's big, wide, fast, and bumpy. What is your intake on Auto Club in 2 weeks' time? Not next week, but it's in 2 weeks' time for the Truck Series.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Auto Club, Corey Silva kind of said it. It could be a plate race if it's at night. There could be a lot of grip. It's a really wide track, 2 miles long, but it is fairly flat, and there does tend to be a decent amount of tire wear at a track like Auto Club. So if we can get some long green flag runs in, it could make for a really awesome show. Comers and goers throughout the whole race. Definitely these drivers have shown us over the past 2 weeks that they know how to put on a show, so I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm also looking forward to the ASRS SMS Cup Series race for Martinsville Speedway next Tuesday night here on 3Y TV, because we were just at Martinsville Speedway in the Truck Series side last week, and they had an amazing side-by-side finish, so I can't wait to redo Martinsville next Tuesday night in the Cup Series.
Man, that's going to be a whale of a race right there. If you enjoyed last week's truck race in the Sam Maxwell Customs Truck Series, you're really going to love this one. The Sim Marketing Solutions Cup Series is going to Martinsville next week for the ASRS League. They're going to put on a whale of a show for sure. The oldest track in NASCAR, it's paperclip. It's going to be a fun doing. But please join us in 2 weeks' time as well on April 9th, 2019 for the Auto Club 125. 63 laps in the Truck Series for the Sam Maxwell Customs. And also, we also got to throw out the thank yous to the sponsors. Sam Maxwell Customs, thank you for sponsoring the series of the ASRS Truck Series. Also, thank you for sponsoring the race here tonight. Also, thank you to Sim Marketing Solutions, Driven Designs, iRacing, Twitchy Race Reports, iRacingiFlag, Kirkwood Transportation, Coffman Racing Graphics. And also thanks to the team tonight, Peter Short, Carlos Acosta, who does an excellent job back in the production truck every single week, every time we go live here on 3Y TV. And thank you for everybody for watching tonight's event. So please join us next week for the Sim Marketing Solutions Cup Series. They take it to Martinsville action next week, Tuesday night. And also the following week on April 9th, we'll be back in the trucks for Auto Club Speedway action. I'm Tanner Sharp, Peter Short, Carlos Acosta, and we will see you guys next week.